Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Good morning. It's raining here. You might hear some thunder and rain and whatnot. But we're going to endeavor to persevere. I have a replay from Jeb. Low tier, fellas. We don't go slumming like this too often. See, there's a little thunder right there. Tier 4 and 3, and Jeb is in his T28EF-30. I don't know. I don't know where it came from. I was trying to think of that while I was getting ready for this video, and it occurred to me that most of you probably have it moldering or rusting in the back of your garage somewhere. I think it was an undeserved reward, anniversary, Christmas, marathon, onslaught reward thing, maybe? I don't know. I have one. You probably have one too. I feel like sometimes we're that old timer that the American Picker guys go to, or maybe one of these car shows where they show up at some old timer's 40 acres out in the country, and he has 169 cars rusting in the back there, you know, and they're always going through, and every time they turn around, they're pulling a tarp off of another car, and it's some semi-awesome car, at least it could have been, but it's all rusting, and he says something like, oh yeah, I got that off a guy in 82 and drove it to 84, and in 84 I parked it because the transmission went out, and so then I looked around, I got a transmission from Jeb down the road, but you know, I never got to it. That's on my list of cars I'm going to fix. You know, he's fixed no cars in the last 10 years. And the new tranny's sitting there just as rusty as the rest of the car, sitting there next to it, you know, on a couple of wood blocks in the ground or something. There's so many tanks, it's hard to keep track, but Jeb is in his T28E F30. I think this thing has a kind of big gun, as I recall, and looks like it's the same thing as the T28. Well, it says T28. So you've got I think that's the Tech Tree dude right there, and this one has a larger gun. So we're going to go slumming, fellas. Let's check out a Tier 3 and 4 battle. Jeb said, when did you last do a T28E F30? That is a very personal question, sir, and I decline to answer it. Anyway, I don't know how many battles I have in it. Dozen? 5? 2? None? I think it's more than none. I believe I have played it a few times. Okay, we're on Himmel's Meinsdorf. We are low tier. In this particular situation, anything goes. Really, anything could happen. So let's just ride along with Jeb and see how he handles this. It is slower than the regular T28. I do remember that. So the Tech Tree T28 is absolutely outrunning Jeb. Jeb is not going to go for the hill, but he is going to help clobber people. There we go. That is a significant amount of damage for a Tier 4, guys. 194. What is the alpha on this? 160. Boy, he rolled well. He rolled well. I didn't notice that was an HE round, but probably not, since we have 99 AP rounds left and we've only fired once. Comes up to the middle. There's no artillery, for a wonder. That's very strange at this tier. Usually you find a couple artillery players here. Locust goes zinging by. Look how little that thing is. That really is a Locust. This is kind of fun, I think, the lower tiers. The problem is that there's a lot of bad players and they tend to be new players. There's also the requisite number of clubbers going on, but I do enjoy the low tier just because the tanks are kind of cool. A significant number of the tanks at lower tier are real tanks. At the very least, there were prototypes made of them. A large number of them actually fought in the war, especially early at this tier. I don't know what the Valentine ever did, but let's pick them out here. I think the M2 Medium was a tank that fought. Obviously the Lee. Plenty of Lees fought, especially early in the war. What else we got? The T-28s, I think the Russians used a number of those. T-80, I believe. So yeah, there's a lot of the T-6 Medium, which is the prototype Sherman, I believe. So all real tanks, all tanks that saw action in World War II, and kind of I guess part of the heart of this game is that it's established a little bit in the realism of real tanks, which you may scoff to some extent. His gunner got killed, which is not good, especially at this tier, and he's losing some hit points. The M3 Lee fires about as fast as he does, and they both hit each other pretty. Yeah, the Lee's gonna have trouble right there, just being a casemate like he is. So Jeb's doing a nice job. He reacted to the push around the corner, but he's losing a lot of hit points, which you tend to do down here. First of all, you don't have a lot. The nice thing is that they recently buffed the hit points for tank. I say recently, it's been a couple of years, I guess, at this point. But you would last even less time down here before, but they added a certain percentage of hit points to the tanks down at the lower tiers, so the battles go on a little bit longer. Nicely done right there. A little bit of patience with the dispersion. The Stewart takes the old little machine gun action at Jeb. He's just going to come around and thump this guy, it looks like. Boom, there we go. Even game, 6-6. Jeb's cleaned up this. He's gonna, looks like he's gonna hunt down the M8A1. But he has lost about half his hit points, a little bit over, a little bit under, a little bit over, something. I don't know, math in public, it's hard to do. Certainly more than half, a little bit over. Matilda, Chiha, B7 Artie. You know, I was actually thinking more that this was the BT7 idea. The BT7 has the big derp, as I recall. This is just an upgunned T28 that's slower, I believe. Suggest you break the crap tune. Huh? Are we mad? Oh, I can't do it on the replay. I can't bring up the chat by hitting enter. That's unfortunate. We'll have to wait till somebody else talks. Was there some chirping going on there, fellas? I missed that. Too busy talking. He's going to head over here. Looks like he wants to take on the BT7 and the T6. I like that he's going back to his guns for you guys that are learning the game and trying to figure out how to do this. It's a good idea for him to have not pushed around the corner. I do talk about that a lot. It's not a hard and fast rule. In fact, I might actually be cleaving to it a little bit too much. But in this case, if he pushed around over on the east side, he's alone, so that's not a great idea. Especially in this situation. He comes back to his guns. He has a couple guys over here that are pushing, and he's going to come back and hopefully help these guys win this flank. Once they clean up this flank, they have more options. The good news for him on this whole maneuver is they have the hill. Would be very difficult for him to cross back over to this side if the purple team had the hill. So that's one of those things as you're learning. You got to pay attention to the mini-map. Take those things into consideration when you're going, oh, you know, Guido said, or a good player said, when you react to the map, when you flex, when you rotate, whatever word it is you want to use, you go to the side that needs the help. We also have to consider, you know, how you get there. What is the approach? Is it safe? Can I even do that thing? Nicely done. So he comes all the way over here to the Matilda. Looks like maybe the back armor too. Yeah, he's in trouble. Well done. Good patience. Let the dispersion go all the way in. Fully zoomed, as we say, or fully aimed, however you want to call that. And the enemy team. So now we're digging out the campers. Other than this guy, the Chiha, that's a little bit closer. We're going to... Oh, didn't quite pixel snipe that. Look at that. This is actually pretty good. He's going to fire and make my picture a little goobered up. That's okay. So what that's telling you there, and the vast majority of you know that, though, is that you can hit that part of the tank, and then it's showing you the outline that's behind the rock. So everything in purple, you can't hit. That's behind that rock, or whatever it is, a building, the ground, whatever. But he can hit that part. So he's aimed in there, and he nukes that dude. Very nice. That is a setting, by the way. There's a couple options for that on how you want that to look, so that you can tell where the ground is, or the rock, or the building, whatever it is that might be blocking your shot. I highly recommend that you have that setting turned on and set to a way that you like. The T6 and the BT7 can pretty easily take down Jeb. He is in a situation where he really can't take any more than about, well, one hit. The second hit's probably going to get rid of him. The Stewart, I don't know. People are not reacting to their sixth sense here very much. We might get a blind kill here if this guy doesn't move or he is tracked. Didn't happen. Is he going to shoot one more time? No. I thought maybe he had locked his gun forward and was just going to pickle off after he zoomed out, but he's just waiting to see if he gets lit. The Locust is close enough. He might get some lights, but his Locust is about out of hit points. Looks like somebody blind shot him. Nope, that was the T6. Never mind. Somebody shot the T6. How did that happen? Did he even get lit, or did we get a blind shot? Let's check this out. Watch where the T6 is over on the west side of the map there. Does he light? Or are we just shooting into a bush? Or what is going to happen here? Okay. T28 got him. Let's see where he is. Interesting. He was just sitting on the edge right there. Okay. Alrighty then. I wonder if there's actually a... Was there a tree he's knocked down? Maybe Jeb will go over there and we'll find out. I don't know if Jeb moves across that part of the map or not. I'm wondering if he was hiding behind a knocked down tree. That's another thing to learn. Jeb is up to 6 kills, by the way. And it doesn't look like a fantastic amount of damage, but at this tier, that's pretty good. 1,000 damage is quite a bit at tier 3 and 4. If you consider he's only running around with 580 hit points, he's killed the equivalent of a couple 3 tanks here. He's got 6 kills. There's the little Stewart. I think Jeb, I would go try to track down the BT7, but he's got shots, so this is okay. Oh, we miss it. And the other Stewart kills the Locust. Oh, this guy's going to go out into the open. That's not a great idea. Jeb might want to pull back a bit into the bush there before he shoots, because he is going to get lit for sure. Oh, he stopped. Nice lead fire. He got lit doing that too. And this guy's maybe... Oh, no. Yeah, you might have wanted to pull back in the bush. I guess there's a consideration there that if he pulls out too much, the BT7 might get a view of him. But of course, once he fired and got lit, he was seen anyway. So we had to track down 3 guys. We got a T127, which is a pretty good tier 3 premium. Used to be very good, but has been power crept. That dude's Camp Alama Ding Dong. Back at the back. I don't know, what is this Artie doing? I'm really surprised the BT7 hasn't taken a peek or a poke at our hero here. I'm wondering if he's AFK or something, or stuck. Don't know. Jeb should... I mean, it's almost an easy kill, to be honest, because first of all, Jeb's going to be seen if he comes up and over right here, or from that corner over here, and his turret's turned away from him, so... Very curious. Strange things are afoot, my friends. Strange things are afoot. But 6 kills, and we've got to a bit of a stalemate. I don't know, Jeb. I think you push across. I think you just push across. The BT7 can nuke him. That is a consideration. That might be in his head, thinking, well, I don't really want to let that BT7 take a big derp shot at me. And the further away I am, the less accuracy he has. Do we not see this guy? No. Okay. Where's he going? This is why low tiers are pretty funny sometimes. He's getting thumped. And we didn't even get spotted. Blind shot. Oh, no! No, that guy's driving through. That was a great view of him blowing up and the hatch popping out right there. That was good. Valentine, can you push with me? He's trying to get some teamwork to make the dream work. Ah, the Valentine is back behind him with full hit points. And it looks like maybe the Valentine is down with that. Off he goes. I was looking at him. He's like, hey, come help me. Hey, what? No. Wait, what? What is he doing? Oh, he's looking at the team. That is something you will see at the lower tiers. People will stare. Just, by the way, let's just recognize that he is currently at the perfect amount of damage and probably should not shoot anything else. We are at 1212 damage. Well done, Jeb. I am insanely curious about where this BT7 has been this entire time. Maybe he fell back and he's in the corner now. And also, too, in addition to, how did that guy get blind shot? I guess I didn't see him appear on the map. I guess the guy just guessed. The dude up on the hill. Very nicely done with that kill. What I was saying earlier is you will get a lot at this tier because people don't really know the terrain and the maps very well. They'll stare. You'll have people stop and they'll stare at things that are behind cover or behind hills because they don't really understand. You'll see them search around going, where is that guy? Before they realize, oh, he's actually behind. That's hugely important, right? So just pause this for a second. The T127 was actually on the other side of this big rock. It's a defensive position on the south spawn. So when he got lit by the dude pushing over here in the east, He was over there fighting him, and the Valentine stopped and stared at him for a while, but he was never going to get a shot on the 127 unless the 127 came all the way around the corner right here. So, as you learn the game and get better, you will start to remember the maps and understand while you're moving where you can be where you can be shot from. And mid to late game is where that information becomes massively important. And it looks like the BT7 did retreat. So he's moved back into the back. And this is anybody's game because there's quite a few low hit point guys. Oh, don't back up. Oh, all you had to do is back up into the bush there and he'd have never seen you. Slowly turning his turret and we kill him. All right, nicely done. What? Hold the phone. What? Well, there's the BT7. How on earth did we cross and not get seen? That guy was hiding like crazy. Wow. 7 kills, though, for Jeb. Well done. 1,503 damage. Will he get the last kill on the BT7? I'd have been ready coming around the corner. You might have had a shot for just a moment. Instead of kind of driving out into the open looking that way, I'd have had my turret pointed right there and maybe even used this cover here just to peek around and see if you couldn't get a shot on him. Very dangerous just driving around the corner. He was fairly busy, though. More than likely fighting the T-28 and not looking at you. All right, man. Well done. Low tier. You got about 1,200 experience out of a tier 4 and tier 3. For you new guys, don't spend too much time down here. It's hard to, really, unless you're doing seal clubbing, because you can grind through modules and tanks from 3 to about 6 really quickly. Really 1 to about 6 really quickly. And the game, that initial mission thing that they put in the game will get you through pretty quickly a line or two. And from there, once you start building up free experience, you can actually free experience through a considerable number of the lower tiers. But I think it's unfortunate in the big picture with the game that the lower tiers aren't a bigger part. I would love to see tournaments for low tiers or weekend things. I know they have tournaments, but I'm talking about like an onslaught, like a ranked for lower tiers, that kind of thing. I'm not saying it has to be the main focus, but every once in a while, if they had events down at lower tiers, that'd be quite a bit of fun. There's some problematic tanks down here, things they would have to look at and figure out, but they do that at the upper tiers as well. The general idea being like the Chieftain and the 279 early not being eligible for certain, I guess, an onslaught, things like that. I don't know. I just like the lower tiers. I don't spend a lot of time there because I don't want to be down there beating up new players. But they're still fun tanks. They really are. All right, guys. That's all I've got. Jeb, thanks for sending that in. Well done. We will see ya. One last thing before we go. I want you to check out the card on how much credits he made playing down at that tier and being careful with things like expendables and all that kind of stuff. He makes a pretty good little profit, and you'll also notice he's not running premium. So for you free guys that are looking for ways to make credits, tanks like that one at the lower tiers, the little premium tanks, actually are pretty good as long as you don't shoot a bunch of premium and you're not using a bunch of big kits, things like that, food, that kind of stuff. Just wanted to chuck that out there.